Hello and welcome to Legislative Report. I'm State Representative Todd Stephens, representing the 151st District in Montgomery County. Despite the BRAC closure of the Willow Grove Naval Air Station in 2011, there's still a military presence at the site. It's now known as the Horsham Air Guard Station and houses the 111th Fighter Wing of the Pennsylvania Air National Guard, the 56th Stryker Brigade of the Pennsylvania Army National Guard, and the 99th Regional Support of the Army Reserves. The airfield has been shut down, with the landing strip being part of the more than 800 acres that was turned over to the township. Representative Stephen Barrar, chairman of the House Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness Committee, wanted an up-close look at the current operations in Horsham. He and other committee members recently toured the base to see how the facility is functioning and what the future plans may be. I was able to join the committee on this tour, and I'd like to share portions of our visit with you now. All right, I'm here with Colonel Griffin at the Horsham Air Guard Station with the Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness Committee today. And Colonel, could you just let us know a little bit about what the continuing mission is here at the Horsham Air Guard Station?
I sure can. Again, in Horsham, our plan is we looked a little bit at where we were and where we are today and where we're going forward to. So here we are at the 56th Stryker Brigade, looking at their vehicle here. So, and within the 56th, they are our Pennsylvania task force for this part of the state. They're the lead element to the Pennsylvania task force here. We team up with them as the Air National Guard. So a large part of what we're going to be doing here is defense support to civil authorities, and we can do that through the task force and PEMA and FEMA. So those parts and pieces are in place, and we exercise those and can continue to develop those. Mission-wise, the newest mission coming here is the MQ-9 Reaper, the remotely piloted aircraft. We're excited to get that mission here. We think it's going to be great for the base. It's going to be great for the community. It'll continue our great working relationship with the Horsham and the surrounding communities that we talked about earlier. So with the Reaper mission coming here, and again, the mission will be here. We'll control stations only here, no aircraft. So that is that's the next big thing coming to Horsham Air Guard Station.
Sure, and it's exciting. And just so people understand, I get questions at my office all the time, but I want to clarify for the folks out there. They see runways still here on the ground. Those runways are not a part of the Horsham Air Guard Station. Am I right there?
Right, they are not. They are property of Horsham Township. Runway's closed, control tower is shut down, power is off, literally.
Sure. So these remotely piloted aircraft, could you just explain where are the actual aircraft located?
Well, the aircraft can be located anywhere on the globe where they're needed, and then we will control them from control stations here. But the aircraft could be anywhere on the globe that the Department of Defense needs that type asset.
Sure. So my constituents here in the 151st Legislative District aren't going to see these remotely piloted aircraft flying above head and everything else like that. They're simply being operated out of this facility, but the aircraft itself is located typically overseas?
That's exactly correct.
Okay,
terrific. The control stations here on the base, just in one of the buildings here on base, aircraft half a globe away.
Now, I also understand that there are a number of different federal entities that might utilize this type of aircraft. Could you explain, the aircraft that are being operated by folks here at the Horsham Air Guard Station, they're purely military, right? And could you explain the difference there?
I sure can. That's exactly right. Military only. Air National Guard mission, an Air Force mission that the 111th, currently still the 111th Fighter Wing has, but we're picking up that mission in all the Title 10 roles. So we'll be Title 10 and Title 32 military roles doing the mission.
And just so people understand who don't necessarily have familiarity with those titles, I mean, there are specific protocols and regulations that govern when and how you can use those aircraft under the military protocols, right?
Right, and the titles go to just that, the authorities. And all of our authorities will be the oversight of the Department of Defense, military missions, supporting our troops not much different than the way we supported troops with A-10s here.
Yeah, and that's something that I know I've spoken with some of the leadership here at the base previously about. Could you just kind of compare this this new remotely piloted aircraft with the A-10s that used to fly, every day in and out of this particular facility?
Sure, and ironically, the way what we'll see, internal, we will see 24-hour operations. So the base is going to go to 24-hour operations here, but to the local community, it will still look like there is dramatically less going on. So internal to us is 24-hour operations, folks right here on the base. So as far as again, comparing it to the A-10, yep, you won't see any airplanes flying around here, but there will be airplanes flying out of here, from here,
sure.
But not an airplane to be seen here.
Sure, and I guess that's the real benefit as far as I can tell, and just correct me if I'm wrong. We're going to enjoy the benefits of all these additional jobs coming in to work through this program, but we're not going to have to worry about some of the quality of life issues that many of my constituents feared with continual air traffic and things like that above our skies. Is that right? Is that accurate?
Right. The air traffic here is done. That has left the station, and again, runways closed, control tower closed. So we're now going to be controlling airplanes only from here. Actual flying will be somewhere else, wherever they're needed.
Sure. Well, Colonel, thank you so much for spending the time with me today. I really appreciate it, and thanks for showing my colleagues from all across the state the great operations you have here at Horsham.
It's my pleasure. We're happy to host.
Thank you. All right, we're here with Sergeant Ciano at the Horsham Air Guard Station, and Sergeant, if you could just maybe let us know a little bit about what your unit does, what goes on here in terms of the troops that you're involved with here at the Horsham Air Guard Station.
Yes, we've been here approximately since 2010. We moved from Southampton Road in Philadelphia to our brand new facility here in Willow Grove. And our day-to-day operations is getting the National Guard soldiers up to training and getting everything they need for their training. This is a real nice facility here. There's a lot of room here, and the Striker is here to stay.
That's great. We're in some pretty cramped quarters here inside a vehicle. Could you let us know, what is this vehicle, what's it used for, and what are some of its capabilities?
This vehicle is called a Striker. This right here is a command variant. This is my Commander Striker, and this vehicle is one of the best vehicles the military ever made.
And why is that?
It is fully capable of doing everything that you need to do in the battlefield, out the battlefield, doing civil events out in the city and stuff like that. And it's a very impressive vehicle that everybody wants to be in.
Sure. Some of the specifics in terms of the capability. What can a commander do from inside these cramped quarters here in the vehicle? It looks like you pack a lot into a small space. Yes. What's available here?
For the commander, he has everything available to him to communicate and be out in the field with the soldiers, training, and just getting the full field. This actually is a mobile command center for the commander. So that's what this vehicle does.
So he can communicate, he can receive data, he or she could receive data, they could gain all the information they need and then disseminate that to the troops out in the field?
That is correct.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for taking the time today. Thank you very much for your service, and we look forward to having you for a long time here in Horsham.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I'm here with Chairman of the Veterans Affairs Emergency Preparedness Committee, Stephen Barrar from Delaware County. Thanks for bringing the group up here to the Horsham Air Guard Station. Why did you think it was important to bring the committee up here?
Well, I think during the summer months, I think it's important to get the committee out to look at the different assets around the state that affect the Veteran Affairs Committee, the National Guard, and this is certainly an asset, if not a treasure, for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Sure. And what did you think were some of the highlights of the day here as you got to tour the base and see what type of assets are in place here?
Well, obviously, everybody really enjoyed the Striker vehicle. I think we're all fascinated by that, especially a vehicle that big and heavy that can move at 70 miles per hour is quite a feat. You know, and you can see the members spent about 45 minutes just looking at the Stryker vehicle, and the one sergeant that gave us a tour was just incredible. I wish we knew his name, but I didn't. So,
Well, thank you so much for bringing the committee up here, and look forward to working with you on any of these issues affecting the Horsham Air Guard Station.
thanks. We have a full plate ahead of us, so hopefully we'll get some of it done this fall. Thanks.
Sounds good. Thank you. That's all the time we have for today's program. If you have questions about what you've seen or need assistance with a state matter, please contact me at my local office. That information will be on your screen in a moment. Thanks for watching, and please join me next time for another edition of Legislative Report.